last week on Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep, myself and Stigveld managed to get away from the hellish mind flayers. Unfortunately, we did lose our compatriots. But we entered the city. The city was riotous. And unfortunately, I had to tell the cat about Capri. The cat went into a fit of rage, carried myself and Stigveld to find Mr. Graves in a blood fury. I am currently nearly dying. But what happened to our friends? I have no idea. Let us find out.
Adventure waits on every roll, fighting for our mortal souls through mountains high and dungeons deep, to Dragon's Dream of Scorched Sheep. To Dragon's Dream of Scorched
Welcome everyone to Do Dragon's Dream of Scorched Sheep. As usual, my name is Gadget and I'll be your DM for the evening. And this week, joining us, as usual, it is Stig as Stigveld.
Hello.
Oodles as Treble Clef.
Good evening.
Candy Machine as Capri Smitty.
Hello.
And Biggie as Calbo Greymerkin.
Hello.
Hello to you too. Yes, as Oodles so welcomely recounted last week, chaos as they escaped the collapsing Church of Thaltia. They encountered a riot. They saw a brand new Goliath on the scene, murdering his way through the town. And they unfortunately had to break the bad news to Proserpine that Capri had been taken by some otherworldly creature. And he didn't take it very well, shall we say. In fact, he grabbed and this small cat grabbed and marched the biggest man in the world and the smallest man in the world to a place where Treble may about to be eaten by a vampire.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be something. Not necessarily fine, but you never know. Anyway, we're not talking about that this week.
It could be worse. It could be dead.
That's not on me.
Well, you see, speaking of which, we're going to be joining Capri and Calbo because I'm sure in the intervening 4 weeks since they got taken away, you've been wondering what the hell happened to them.
What the hell happened to them?
I'd like to know.
It's the Stig and Stigveld and Treble show now.
Hell yeah.
Well, we are going to find out. So, away from Indilo's Rest, far away, very, very far away, Capri and Calbo are sat in a brilliant white room. The walls are flat and entirely featureless. It's almost like a cube, if you will. The light source is indiscriminate. It doesn't see where it's coming from, but it's bright enough that no shadows are being cast. Calbo, you're both sat kind of cross-legged on the floor as you open your eyes. Capri,
bright.
you look forward and see Calbo looks a bit translucent.
Uh-oh. Calvo, can you hear me? Calvo!
This is another fine mess we've gotten ourselves into.
This was not my fault. Kinda was.
What is happening? What's going on with? Can you see me?
It's kinda in a roundabout sort of way.
Calbo, as you look at Capri, you notice that it's almost like she looks out of focus. She's translucent as well, but it's almost like there's kind of two layers of her over herself.
You look strange to me. You're there but not there. You're blurry. I don't understand.
Yes, you're not 100% there. Wait a minute. How did we get that little? It was Treble. It's his plan the whole time.
And the demon?
That was just an accident.
Cheers, man.
Treble's always hated me.
This is not good. I don't know. What are we gonna do? I don't understand. Am I dead?
I'm
You
dead.
Let's investigate this place. What can you feel?
So both of you roll an investigation check for me.
I'm dead.
Got a 9.
9.
19.
Ooh, big rolls for Biggie.
He's back, baby.
So,
Yay.
Calbo,
Not fighting, though.
So, Calbo, you stand up and you kind of pace around. The sound is almost muffled in the place, like there's not really much of an echo. And you place your hands on the wall, and it feels almost ceramic. But as you kind of place your hand on the wall, you notice that there is this faded black tendril coming from your wrist and going into the ground. And as you kind of move your arm around, it kind of follows you. And you kind of glance over and you see Capri has one on her left hand. You have one on your right hand, she has one on her left hand. You kind of swipe through it and try and grab it, and your fingers just pass through it, but it's definitely there.
Capri, what is this? You have it too, look. I can't get it. Can you grab it?
What is this? No, I can't. What is it? I'm trying to... I can't do it. I can't grab it. When I see trouble
I
again,
don't
I
like
just...
this at all. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared.
Oh.
Wait, yep, you'll be right. Those are some words of encouragement there for
Give
you.
him a cuddle.
I've nearly died twice already. Maybe this is it.
Oh no, I can't deal with it.
Existential crisis, the episode.
Yeah.
I've just realised my hood's kind of skew whiff off my head, so I just like pull it back up and hide my horns again.
As you're kind of like having your existential crises, your infinite crises on existential terms, there is a flash of bright light, like bright enough that you can't see anything, and then as your kind of vision returns, there is a man in grey robes standing in the room. He's tall, he's clean shaven, probably say early 30s, 35, something like that. He's got greying hair and slightly kind of tan skin. You both are very aware that his eyes are pure white. Can't see an iris or a pupil or anything like that. And he stands there, he kind of crosses his arms and go, "Well, hello there."
Calbo, should we pretend to be dead?
That's gone so well for us already.
You never learn.
I'll talk to it. Who are you?
"Well, I'm Zaral. I will be your confidant, shall we say, during the bureaucracy."
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Oh, you're unaware. Okay. And he reaches into his cloak and he pulls out a small scroll and he hands it to you, Calbo. And you open it up and you pull it, and it says at the top, "So, you've died." A pamphlet.
Calbo, what's it say?
Well, I was right. We're dead.
See you next week.
And Zaral looks down at you, Capri, and goes, "Well, come on, dear, stand up. We have a lot of work to do, but yes, well, welcome to the beginning of your afterlife."
And I kind of stand up slowly, brush myself up. Then I start to look around. I'm like, remember that the cat's not with me, and I just feel kind of, for the first time, not like whole. Like something's definitely missing. And I just become very sort of aware.
Excellent. So
The
Zaral
master's teachings warned me of this.
Zaral is kind of like starts to kind of fuss. He starts to kind of like look inside. There's a kind of small pouch on his side, and he kind of pulls out a quill, and he goes, "Right, so, I trust you've never died before, and this is all new experience to you."
Well,
Not exactly. I mean, there was this one time. Can't remember that well, but just yes. Let's just say yes.
pretty close to it.
Oh,
There's the ship.
frequent flyers, shall we say? Okay, well, Welcome
Frequent
to
dyers.
Faller.
Frequent dyers.
I just,
Have you got a reward card?
fuck's sake, Piggy.
One more stamp and a free coffee.
Free coffin.
Oh, you are.
So Zaral makes the free coffin joke that he's just going to steal from you there, Treble. He goes, sorry, bit of humour around the office usually helps break the ice. Most people are quite upset when they find out they've died. Let me explain what happens here. Welcome to the Euphorion. We are a place between life and death. Or maybe you should say the material plane and whatever you decide to do next. This is where souls are brought to be organised for your ongoing existence and to work out what happens to you once you have passed from your corporeal shell into the afterlife. He walks to one of the walls and he goes, let me show you where you are. And he kind of puts his hand on it and swipes left to right. And as his hand swipes across it, it's as if he's like kind of wiping away the wall. And you see the most glorious celestial city. Huge towers that are intricate and elegant, buildings as far as the eye can see. Above you, the sky is deep black, but filled with the most brilliant star field that you've ever seen. Not one you recognize, not one that Erethria would have shown you in the nights that you've spent traveling. The center of what you assume is a city, this could be the entire place, but it goes on for looks like infinity, but at the center of the city, you see a giant tree trunk that rises above further than you can see. And Zaral comes up to you as you are both kind of wide-eyed looking at this incredible sight, and he goes, "Yes, it's rather beautiful, isn't it?"
What is this place? Calbo, have you seen anything like this before?
By Xenos, this place is breathtaking.
Well, it's supposed to be. This is one of the largest places in all of the realms. You can see we're directly connected to the World Tree. You know, this is a place in between planes. The World Tree connects everything, from the material plane where your bodies died to the infernal plane to the spirit plane. Everything is connected via the World Tree.
Oh, can we smoke here?
What about bars?
There's anything that you could possibly need, and he clicks his fingers, and in your hand, Calbo, appears a pipe that is overflowing with pipeweed. And he clicks his other finger, and Capri, in your hand, appears a drink. And it's a clear liquid. Go on, take a taste.
Oh.
And it tastes like the finest in Grey Bar wine. But as you take a drink, the glass doesn't empty.
Oh. I could get used to it here. Wait, hang on.
Nice.
I was about to make a point. We have a mission, but it's pretty tempting to stay here. You, person, grey thing. How does time... Zaral, how does time work here, in terms of our usual plane?
In terms of your usual plane, time can be complicated here. If you want to connect it to different planes, you can be here what feels like days here, and it can pass in years, or it can pass in seconds on the material plane. It's all down to your perception. So the general run of it is, some people like to spend eternity here. Sorry, excuse me. Some people like to spend just drinking beer while podcasting is not a good idea.
I've been like this all the way through. I was like,
I know, that's what I was trying to do, but I was in the middle of speaking when it came up. Anyway.
What's happened to your accent?
Oh, it comes and goes. I'm not used to being in this form, you see. I'm normally kind of a wispy, gaseous thing, but you know, when new people
still
come,
a wispy,
we have
gaseous thing now, mate?
Yes, time can pass relative to you. Some people decide that they want to stay here for a particularly long time, but aren't ready to move on. You see, the thing is, this area, this entire plane of Euphorion, this is a holding place. You see, some enterprising so-and-sos, many thousands of years ago down on the material plane, discovered the magica of resurrection. And resurrection can occur at any point on a body as long as it hasn't been dead for more than 100 years. So this plane was created that, should your body be resurrected, you can easily be reconnected to the material plane.
We could go back.
If someone were to resurrect you, yes. But after 100 years, and resurrection is not a possibility, then you are given the option to go wherever you please, in any of the other spiritual planes. However, it turns out we were rather too kind to people, and some people want to stay here for as long as eternity. So we allow time to be a little bit, shall we say, flexible here. And it's more down to the will. So we have some people here who have been here for, on the material plane, it would have been 10,000 years, but they technically died yesterday.
So our bodies, where are they now? Or surely these aren't our bodies, I can see through myself.
Well, all in due time, we have, and he suddenly gets very excited, like Orapan and Stigveld level excited. And he goes, we have a lot of paperwork to do, dear. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Is this hell?
No. If you want to visit the Infernal Realm, we can send you there on a field trip.
no. That's quite all right, thank you.
I'm fine.
Although I do
fire
speak the
damage.
I can't
Oh,
speak
okay.
Infernal though, so.
Well, yes, I hear there's some Tanaruks there that are really fun to play with.
Oh, no, let's stay here.
So he turns around and he walks to the other side of the room away from the window, and then he turns back to look at you and he clicks his fingers, and two chairs appear in front of you. They're perfectly white like the rest of the room. He clicks his finger again, a chair appears behind him, and then one more click and a desk, the floor kind of like melts up into the shape of a desk. And he sits down, he clicks his fingers, and an ink pot appears, and he puts the quill into it. And he clicks his fingers again, and two very large books appear right in front of him. And he clicks his finger one more time, and there is a small kind of artistic drawing of a dragon holding onto a washing line with "Hang in there, baby" written on it. And he goes, "Please sit."
Oh, God.
Sit down, I ain't signing nothing.
I ain't signing nothing.
It's okay, there is nothing for you to sign. This is merely an information collection exercise.
You're getting all
How long have you been here?
Well, you see, time doesn't really apply to the people who work here. I assume I've been here since the beginning, but it's not something that we're asked to think about too much, so I think do not think about it.
It makes sense.
Anyway, yes, there is some work to be done before we connect you to an afterlife of your choosing, or depending on the things that you've done in life, an afterlife that we choose for you. Don't worry, that one's not particularly common. It's just those of rather evil dispositions, we tend to decide for them. We kind of don't want to reward those who've had an evil life with a very good afterlife, you know?
Well, you don't need to worry about us. Now, this resurrection thing you mentioned earlier, is there anything we can do to help that process along, perhaps? Maybe not spend too much
Can we
time there?
contact our allies? Can we appear at them when they're making
there a
pottery
phone?
and stuff?
FaceTime? Zoom?
Well, I mean, once we get through the initial paperwork, you can request a haunting. That's a common one. Some people who have died suddenly like to be able to sort of go back and tell their loved ones that they're in a happier place and all that kind of thing. It's something we can facilitate. And I must say, the paperwork to get one of those going, oh my god, it's one of my favourites.
Sounds pretty good, Calbo. Because I'm gonna haunt that little shit so hard.
Absolutely. I'm getting hard thinking about it.
So am I. Come and haunt me, baby.
So first of all, I need to file the paperwork to receive the correct paperwork to get your everything processed. So he pulls one of the books in front of him, and it's like 1,000 pages deep. And he goes, don't worry, you don't have to do much of this one. We just need to get some details right, then I can fill in the rest, and then we can get the Afterlife paperwork going. So the first
Hang on a second. How long is this going to take, exactly?
It will take as long as it takes. Like I say, time is flexible. Technically, time is paused right now for your bodies. Because depending what happens to your bodies in the material plane can also affect... Sorry, there was a motorbike going past.
He's off to hell.
Is that my house?
No, it's Biggie's.
Oh. Does he live on M62?
Might as well do. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah. So yes, sometimes if there is corpse desecration things, sometimes that can affect the applications. Don't worry. As far as your bodies are concerned, time is paused. It's as if you've effectively just died right now.
Feels like it.
I'm so confused.
All right.
Don't worry, young dragon sir. Everything will be sorted. Anyway. So he pulls one of the books in front of him, and this one has Calbo Graham Erkin written on it. He goes, so which one of you is Calbo?
That's me.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And he kind of boom, bangs open the book in the middle, and you peer over the top, and you can see that not only is this book like enormously thick, but the handwriting in it is tiny. There is so much detailed information in this. And he kind of like crosses his arms and goes, so, just need to ask you a few questions just to make sure that the automatically kind of magically generated records are correct. Okay? So, first of all, can I ask you, Mr. Grey Merkin, if you don't mind, how did you die?
We're in the middle of a glorious battle. I was fantastic. And, things started to go a bit wrong, and I got taken out by this mind flayer thing. And, yes, here I am. And then a tentacle came out and took me in here.
And he's kind of like, he's looking over the text, and he goes, mind flayer, yes, that's correct. Tentacle, yes, I can see that. It doesn't mention anything about brilliance, but I'll assume that's just artistic license. It's fine. That doesn't affect the application.
You should have seen me.
I mean, we can review the end of your life if you want, if that would help.
Let's carry on. You're fine.
He kind of clicks his fingers, and this kind of like...
No need.
Vision appears of Calbo kind of throwing a boomerang and it missing.
No, it hit something out of shot. You can't see it.
This is your life.
And he goes, I'm sure you are marvelous. He clicks his fingers again, and the vision disappears.
Yes.
He says, okay, so the next question. To the best of your knowledge, did you live a good life? All things considered.
From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view?
About this? I tried my best.
Well, what it's ultimately asking is, were you good or were you evil? Did you deliberately cause harm without provocation?
Well, I lost my way for a bit. Hence why I took this path. But I have sworn for myself to help my friends and help my friend Stigveld get back to High Dawn.
And
I have covered. Yes, I have. Also, thank you, whoever you are.
12-step program.
I've stopped drinking. I do smoke a little still, but
it's fine.
I believe I've made some better choices.
He clicks his fingers, and your pipe kind of refills again.
Oh, thanks.
And he says,
Do you have
okay.
biscuits?
What are biscuits?
Oaty, crumbly things. You have
This
different
isn't so
flavors.
good
Very
after
nice.
all.
I have no idea what that is. I'm very sorry. Food is not a thing
chocolate
here.
digestive.
Did you just say food is not a thing here?
No, you see, when you're a spirit, you tend not to need food. Alcohol and drugs, they are a thing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But food, we don't really kind of, we don't fuck with it. It's not really our vibe. If you excuse if you excuse my Welbeckian language.
Bonjour.
He then carries it. So, okay, the book says on balance you lived a good life, so possibly say that's probably the right answer.
I have guilt and shame, but that's for me to deal
Well, you see, that leads on to the next one, Mr. Greymerkin, which would be, do you have any regrets
Do you have any
that were
guilt or
unresolved?
shame?
Well, there was this mermaid, but other than that,
Mermaid.
The DM has some regrets, yes.
The great DM in the sky.
well, it must be in the book. But if not, I was in a forest and I was practicing my kata for my martial arts. I spoke too much. I smoked some weed. I shouldn't have done it. I lost control. And I ended up killing 2 members of a rival clan whilst out training. They started on me, but I saw the rage. I lost control. I had to leave. I couldn't hold my head up anymore. I was such ashamed of what I did. So I left my clan, and I have been wandering ever since, trying to find meaning to my life and to do something different, to make a difference.
He looks down at the book and he goes, yes. Words to that effect are written here, yes. It does mention this incident that you had with the rival clan, and yes, I'm deeply sorry that you had to go through that, Mr. Greymerkin. Aside from...
It's the last time I fought well. With honor.
It doesn't make any mention of that, I must say, but, you know, as one is. Do you have any unfinished business on Erethria?
I need to get back. I need to go and help my friends. They are in danger. I need to go back. I need to do things. I don't want to die this early. There's more in my life. I want to do more.
Right, excellent. Yes, he just ticks a box that clearly just says yes or no. And he says, okay.
I love this bureaucratic system. Tick the box.
Yeah. And he says, okay, this is the last one for now, Mr. Greymerkin. Once we have this answer, I can finish the rest of the paperwork. And he kind of like runs his thumb along the rest of the book, and he goes, oh, as if very much looking forward to this amount of paperwork. And he says to you, looks you straight in the eye with his blank white eyes, says, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I'd not die.
I mean, he's not wrong.
You know, I expected that answer from you, and it was still funny.
I would clearly not do what I did in that forest. I live with that incident every day. Every morning, every afternoon, evening, I think it's all I have flashbacks of that event. I will never get over it. But I have to help my friends. I want to go back. I don't want to die. Don't let me die.
And he makes a scribble in the book, and he closes it, and he just leans forward to you, Calbo, and he says, I appreciate that you feel guilty about what happened in that forest. But have you considered that what happened there put you on the path to something better and to something greater? That sometimes that we need to encounter adversity to encounter glory.
It's possible. I haven't looked at it that way.
I would try to put it out of your mind for now, Mr. Greymerkin. Like I say, you're going to be very comfortable here for as long as you need to be. But there is much to process first. So,
Thank you,
kind
I
of
think.
pushes the book to the side, goes, you're very welcome, and he clicks his fingers because you've already smoked your weed, and he just refills your weed. And he pulls the other book in front of him, and he looks at you, Capri, as you're kind of like down in your infinite glass. And he goes, so that must make you Cassandra Smith.
Yes, potentially. There's a bit of a story behind that, but yes.
But I assume there is something that has happened to you because I'm seeing 2 versions of you right now. And he clicks his fingers again, and the out of focusness kind of shifts out, and you can see the blonde human girl that you saw in the memory back when you escaped from Minerva. And every movement that you make, she is a mirror image of, effectively. And then he clicks his finger and you kind of shift back together again.
And I just kind of look at my wine glass like, what am I drinking?
And he says, no, you're not drinking. It's not your drinking, darling. It is clearly that you have clearly had a second soul. This is interesting. Not encountered this before. And he clicks his fingers again and kind of like think, like about 5 other people come in and goes, I hope you don't mind my students, and just bear witness to this. This is such an unusual case. They've not seen anything like this before.
Oh, that reminds me of my last smear test.
Oh, God! Oh, no!
I'm so sorry.
No!
You are a bad person, Candy. You're a very bad person.
No!
Oh, I've made myself blush. I'm so sorry.
No way.
Continue, please.
That's the worst thing in 2 years that has ever been recorded on any of our podcasts. This was not the vision I had intended.
Oh my
God.
Right.
Oh.
No, please continue.
So
Leave
he remains
that in.
story-faced through that. He doesn't react to it, whatever. And all five students, they are almost like blank avatars. Like, they don't really have any kind of individual features. They just look like generic person number 1, repeated 5 times. They all, in sync, pull out a scroll and start writing.
And I just pull my hood a bit further down my face, kind of hiding.
And yeah, and so he says, so the book says Cassandra Smith, but do you go by another name? Which is the right name for you?
I go by another name, yes. I haven't used Cassandra Smith in I don't know when since.
Okay, and what is the name? And he kind of opens to the first page, and kind of hangs the quill underneath. He kind of crosses out Cassandra Smith. He says, "What is the name that you go by?"
I've been going by many names recently. Does it not say in your book? You seem to have a thorough knowledge of Calbo.
No, and he kind of flicks all the way through the book. Remember Short Circuit, how Johnny Five reads?
Yeah.
Reads like that.
Don't do an impression.
And he goes, no, I'm not going to do an impression. and he goes through and he says, so this book tells of the life of Cassandra Smith, a young woman who worked for a organization based out of Welbeck, who worked in sciences. She had no direct family of her own, but she lived with her brother and her niece. It tells of her being excellent with potions. It tells of her being an excellent ranger with a bow. And it tells of the unfortunate passing of Miss Cassandra Smith at the hands of a great, great evil. But ultimately it tells the story of a rather pure, chaste, and loving woman who was ultimately betrayed by people she trusted. And the tragedy of what happened to her family. Is this accurate or is it not?
I believe that to be accurate, but to be quite honest, I don't know what memories I can trust and what I can't. And I've suddenly kind of changed tone. I've gone from kind of jovial to actually a bit somber.
Okay, well, I tell you what, so we have the opportunity to set the record straight here. So I will ask you some questions, much as I did with Mr. Greymerkin there, and you tell me the answers to the best of your knowledge, and if there are any differences, we'll reconcile them, shall we say. So he kind of flicks through it. So he goes, we'll start with an easy one. To the best of your knowledge, how did you die?
I believe I may have been poisoned. I woke up, I had the taste of poison on my lips, but I don't remember anything leading up to this.
No, I mean, how did you die to end up here?
Ah, see, now that is the funny one. The irony being, I was pretending to have died.
That's... You're clearly very good at pretending, then.
Yes, thank you, I thought so, yes.
He starts kind of furiously making notes. So
I thought it was excellent.
and you see kind of crossing out a paragraph above, but before he does that, he kind of reads and goes, "Yes, it does. It does mention a poisoning. It also mentions a oh dear. It mentions a fireball and a valiant attempt at saving a life. I'm assuming this is how Cassandra died."
I have seen flashes. Again, I don't know. I've seen a house in flames. I've felt sadness.
Excellent. He says, kind of curiously writing. He goes, okay, so the next question. So to the best of your knowledge, as this being that you are now, not Cassandra, do you believe you lived a good life?
I believe I have tried my best to forget and also to remember by drowning my sorrows, trying to forget that I don't know who I am, but trying to remember who I actually am.
Are you holding back from Zaral here?
No.
No. Okay. I was just going to ask if you need to roll a persuasion roll there.
No, that's genuine.
Okay, so Zaral kind of writes that down, and he goes, okay, well, I mean, on balance, it's not a bad life. Would you like to know how the records consider Cassandra's life?
Yes, please.
It says one word. Angel.
Whoa.
I knew it.
He then asks, he says, curious, this one doesn't have an entry, so I must assume that Cassandra was a very fulfilled person, but do you have any unfinished business on Erethria?
Yes, I believe I do.
Excellent. And he ticks the yes box, and he says, curious, there is one other thing on here that I didn't expect. The information indicates that you may have relatives in Euphorion somewhere. Now, this is an infinite space of infinite possibilities. Housing is not a problem, but would you like to be housed with them?
There's no housing crisis.
It's a make-believe plane that can go as far as wide as it wants.
Absolutely.
Could you just tell me their address?
Yes, that is possible. And
You got a sat nav?
52 Angel Drive.
Don't need one. I have a very good sense of direction.
He clicks his fingers, and a piece of paper appears in your hand. The text, Calbo looks over, and the text looks like gobbledygook, but Capri can read it.
That looks like gobbledygook.
I can read it.
There we go. See? Proof, listener that they can do that. and then he asks you the final questions. So, miss, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I am a coward, and I run away from fights, and I drink my way through difficult situations, and I'd do that differently.
As in, run faster or drink more, or would you be brave?
I'd be brave.
That is commendable. It's something to aspire to, he says. And he kind of closes the book. And then he kind of clicks his fingers, they disappear, and he clicks his fingers again, and a scroll appears this time. He goes, okay, so this is just a logistical thing. And looks at it and goes, interesting. Do you know, because it isn't listed here, and it normally is, do you know where we might find your corpses?
Potentially at the bottom of a lake in Delo's Rest.
Dealer's Rest, you say? That is even curiouser. And he kind of turns around and says, you see his lips moving, but there's no sound comes out of it as he kind of talks with his students behind him. And then he turns around and goes, okay, this is unusual. And I'm very glad my students are here to witness this one, because they're going to learn some lessons.
All of this is unusual.
Well, you've clearly never died before. Honestly, this is such a regular place. It's unreal. And he clicks his fingers, and a small crystal orb appears in his hand. And he holds it forward and says, "Mr. Greymerkin, would you just please place your hand on this? Don't worry, no harm will come to you. It's just
You're already dead.
we need to make a connection back to the material plane to check something."
I put my hand out to touch the globe.
And as you do that, you hear and he hears your heartbeat. And he kind of pulls it away and puts it in front of you, Capri. He goes, "Miss, would you do the same?"
Yeah, and I tentatively reach forward.
And again, a heartbeat is heard. And he's now starting to look very, very concerned. He goes, "Okay." And for the first time he notices, "Would you lift your arms up, please?"
I guess.
She
Calbo, are
hasn't
you going to
shaved
do
in
it?
years.
Exactly.
As you both lift your arms up, he sees, and you have tethers. Oh, this is unfortunate.
You haven't done this? This is something else?
No, right. And he turns around and goes, "Be gone, students," and they all kind of shift out the way. And he puts his hand on the wall and wipes over again. And you see a vision of a cave, and the view kind of moves down. And you see kind of on a wet slab, your bodies lie perfectly still. And the view kind of moves close to them, and it's breathing. You can see the chests moving up and down. He goes, "Oh no, this is what I was afraid of." So...
You're afraid? We don't understand. What is happening?
And he turns around and he says, "Well, good news and bad news. Good news is you're not dead.
Yes.
Bad news is you've been ejected from your bodies, shall we say, your souls anyway. And the slightly more bad news is that whatever ejected you," and he points at the tether coming off your wrist, Capri, "is holding on to you."
Oh, shit.
Oh, so this is difficult. You see, when souls come to the Euphorion, they are here because they are dead. And we cannot allow souls to mix together who are not of this plane or not supposed to be at this plane yet. You see, until your heartbeat stops, you have a connection to the material plane. But worse, you have this tether, which is holding you to whatever creature separated you from your bodies. Have you heard of the concept of a soul reaver before?
The details are rusty. But wait, you're telling me I'm here, and you're telling me my family are here, and I can't go and see them?
I'm afraid so. Well, at least right now, until we sort this out. Thankfully, there is a lot of paperwork involved that could facilitate that, even if it's just sort of what you would call remotely. We could kind of zoom their appearance over to you from a distance.
Hang on. Can I speak to your supervisor? I don't understand why can't we get rid of this?
Because whatever is holding on to you is holding on to you. You see, we did not put the tether onto you.
You're doing all this other stuff. Why can't you get rid of this?
Because everything that I do up here...
Thing.
And he starts to get a little bit irritated with you, Calbo. He says, everything that I can do here is powers granted to me by the power of the World Tree. Okay? The tether that is connected to you did not come from this plane. It did not come from the World Tree. It came from I assume, some extra-dimensional creature, which has this power to cross between the planes. So, whatever has caused this to happen to you needs to be dealt with.
Let's do
now,
it.
The problem is the tether means whatever did this can retrieve you. They can pull you out of this realm. So if it is, for instance, a creature that feeds on souls, it can pull you out to finally eat you. should it decide that.
Okay.
If it is a creature that, or a being that uses souls for energy, it can do that. It means you are not permanently tied to here. But if we let you out into the Euphorion properly, you become a risk to other souls, because that tether works in both directions. The creature can climb that tether to reach you. And the last thing that we want is a soul reaver in an infinite space with infinite souls. Don't you understand that?
Duh.
Not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed with this afterlife so far.
You're not even dead.
Exactly.
You're not even dead, and that is the main thing. You are not due for the afterlife yet. Something has separated you from your body and put you here. Is this getting in? Do I need? And he kind of clicks his fingers, and suddenly you're sober.
I love how he's arguing with potentially the most powerful being he's ever been in front of in his life. He's just arguing with it.
I'm
The
not happy
worst
with
fighter.
this service so far.
Because he seems so mundane, that's why. He's just not a threat.
I imagine he is.
Capri, make sure you take his name down.
He clicks his fingers.
Calbo's such a Karen.
He clicks his fingers, Calbo, and instantly you are sober. He goes, everything that happens here that I can do is power granted to me by this realm. The tether on your wrist is from a different realm. I have no control over it. I cannot cut it off. I cannot stop its function. This is the way the multiverse works. I need you to understand that.
I understand, but what can we do about it?
I do not know. That is not my department. However, I can send you to the department that can help with this.
You're going to be on hold for 10,000 years.
The girl from Impanema playing.
I've seen Beetlejuice. I know how this works.
Yeah. Civil servant.
So, I have a lot of paperwork to file, more than I expected, which, thank you for that, incidentally. I live to fill in forms. However, we need to place you into a sort of holding area within a holding area where you are safe from the rest of the Euphorion. And before he kind of listens for a response on that, he clicks both of his fingers, and the two of you are falling. You are falling through darkness space. There are colours flashing past you faster than you can imagine. And all of a sudden, without a thud, without any pain or anything like that, you're sitting on 2 seats in another white room. This
Falling
one is
for 30 minutes!
Ah!
That was a rush.
you're in another white room. This one's a little bit bigger than the one you've previously been in. There are kind of a smattering of white chairs around, and you see a female figure kind of looking away from you at the end of the room.
Well, it's another fine mess, Calbo.
You go and talk to this one.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
not in the mood.
When they inevitably make the film of this podcast, this is going to be the weird scene, isn't it? All this. This is going to be the weird bit.
Wait for the musical number.
Yeah.
I'm building this up to be the Thor Ragnarok of Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep.
Yeah. In the Scorched Sheep universe.
Yeah. There'll be Stigveld in a fighting arena and everything, doesn't remember anybody, all that kind of thing.
I know him. He's a friend from work.
All that kind of thing, yeah. So, yes. What are you going to do now that you're in this room?
So, Calbo, we could potentially arrange a
magazine.
haunting. It can be done. My issue is, I can die and meet my family, or I can try and live and help save my friends.
I don't know. I'm still trying to process all of this.
Perhaps my family here are at peace. They've chosen to stay here. I know they're safe if we don't let that thing come up here.
How did they die? Maybe they shouldn't have been here.
I can probably find that out on our usual plane. Wait, I've forgotten the name of our plane, that's why I keep calling it that, I'm very sorry.
The material plane.
The material plane.
And you're a material girl.
Oh.
Who's that there? Should we go and talk? You talk to her.
Okay. Why do I always have to do it? Never mind. Anyway, I'm drunk, let's go.
I talked to the last one.
So did I! All right, I'll do this one, but you're doing the
episode.
next one.
Ask to speak to the manager.
Oh, I'm not a Karen, I'm a Capri.
We're not leaving till we speak to the manager.
My husband's in the police.
I've had it up to here.
So Capri, you walk up to this woman. She's much taller than you. She's quite muscularly built. You tap her on the shoulder, and she turns around, and you see the blonde hair and kind of hardened but softish features of Millicent.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, you finally arrived. Hello.
hello.
Capri, be careful.
Yes, I'm going to say nothing. I hear you work here, is that correct?
No. I'm kind of, and she raises her hand up, and there's the string coming off her wrist as well.
You're in
I'm-
the same situation as us.
Yes. Since I pulled the card, my body is still alive on the material plane, and I've been here. I've been working with my soul caseworker, Anita. She's lovely. You should meet her. To find out what's happening with it and to see if there's.
I can't do it.
It's so
It's a
surreal.
bureaucracy.
This is my favourite episode so far.
I've been working with Anita to try and find out what's happened to my body.
Tell
Is
me,
it
what's
Anita?
the
Is that what you're finding funny? Is it?
Yeah, just Anita from HR.
Yes.
Have you
No,
ever seen,
but my HR at work is called Anita.
Then make sure you play this for.
have you ever seen R.I.P.D., which is kind of like this?
That's
Yes,
this.
this is
This is
exactly
what
what
it's
I'm
just
ripping off.
reminding me of right now.
And The Good Place.
Yeah.
Yes, this in the good place is exactly what I'm ripping off.
Right, Millicent.
Millicent. darling.
Who are you?
You sound
who
like
are you-
Treble.
Speaking of, speaking of that one, who were you with when you got taken to the other plane?
Oh, shit.
So,
What's your last memory?
So my last memory on the material realm was a rather unfortunate incident with a dragon. When we were in Sidro Goodson's kind of his archive, and I remember casting magical weapon, and the small one, the little one that you were hanging around with, he
Yes.
and then the big one, they both shouted dildo, and as I was casting the spell.
The small one wasn't there.
No, the small one. No, you're right. The small one wasn't there. The small one
Who
comes
is
into
this
the story
voice?
later on. It was the
Twist
big one. It was
B.
the big one.
Skip to the small one.
The small one had coronavirus.
So yeah. So
This is so meta right now.
I remember that the dragon was destroyed, and we went back upstairs and we found the deck of many things, and then I pulled the card I need to restore my family, but it wasn't the card I need because the deck of many things and the gods have forsaken me, and then I woke up here and I dealt with a strange man called Zarel, and then I've been down here since, and when I've been working with Anita, she's been kind of showing me what happened and what happened to my body. There was a small man who was charged with me, with keeping me alive, and did he sell me or give me away or something like that? Or I remember you. I remember you, your dragon friend over there. Oh, hi! And she waves at you, Calbo.
Hello.
Yes, he's dead too, I'm afraid.
Yes, and the large fella. I remember you.
I'm
were
loving
all,
it.
You were all very kind to me. Settle down, Leslie Nielsen. I remember the three of you were very caring and looking over kind of what happened after my soul came here. You know, you were all very keen on making sure that I didn't die, and I very much appreciate that. The little one, however, I would like to meet my mace.
Yes. I think we're in agreement there. I think he's
Yes, that
possible.
affected a lot of people.
Yes, I think he's responsible for a lot of this.
You see, the little one handed me off to a someone who worked for the church. He handed me off to someone else who, let's just say, he used me for a display of sorts, and then I was sold again, and several more times some despicable things happened to me, and all of a sudden I appeared in this kind of mountain town in the desert, where I was presented to a priest who put me in the water, and I've since seen that this enormous creature who goes by the name of Kirelth is using me as its avatar. So I'm not best pleased with the little one. So if there is ever any moment where I can kind of come back to my body and return to the material plane, I will be ending him.
Yes, I think I may be with you there. He's certainly got some explaining to do, seeing as he's got both of our deaths in common.
Yes. Well, you see, I would very much like to. I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of faith and respect and restraint, but I would like to stove his fucking face in.
Yes. Calbo.
Yes.
We're killing Treble. Well,
Okay.
maybe just a slight maiming. Small maiming, all right?
Maim away.
Sweet. So, what do you know of this place? Have you gotten any closer to escaping?
It's not so much of a matter of escaping, so we are free to leave whenever we want, but we need the mechanism to return to our bodies.
Yes,
So because Kirelth is currently kind of, I don't want to say abusing, but he's effectively using my body for his own needs, I can't re-enter it. Also, if I re-enter, I would instantly drown because he exists underwater.
Yes, that seems a bit of a problem.
The way for me to return to my body is for my body to come back up to dry land, effectively, and to be in a safe place, and for this tether to be removed. Now, the tether being removed would be Kirelth being killed. Because since Kirelth got a hold of my body, this tether has appeared.
Okay.
So, but as long as my heart is beating, which Kirelth, because I have seen how it works, and Anita has tried to explain it to me, but it is difficult to explain how, unless you are a apothecary. But essentially, the thing that is attached to the back of my neck is keeping me alive. It means I don't have to breathe air, effectively. But once Kirelth is dead, my body needs to be returned to the surface, and then I shall be able to return to it because you are here. And you know my soul, and you know my body, and you can be my conduit down to the material plane. And conversely, once that happens, I can be your conduit down there because you have a connection to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, that wine is quite strong, but yes, I believe so. So
Right from the beginning.
Explain it back to her.
No. Listen back to the podcast. Instead, everything that we talk about here is recorded and released in a podcast daily.
What is a podcast?
So let's just say it relayed that all to Calbo.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it either.
So Calbo, how about that haunting?
I think perhaps if we use the haunting to get the message to our friends,
Yes.
perhaps we can somehow maybe have some fun, spook them and tell them what needs to be done.
I like that. A revenge spook.
You know, Treble's never done anything wrong to Calbo.
You tried to cut the rope to drop me off the ship the first time round.
I thought we were in the holodeck.
So, Millicent comes up as you kind of plotting this one. Well, if we need a further connection to the small one, there is someone else here who I believe can help with this one. And you hear from behind you. All right, loves. It's been a while.
Yes.
As Quattro Clef in spirit form walks up to you, and so ends episode 25 of the Dragon's Dream Scorched.
You bastard!
I love Quattro.
Yes, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I know the last two episodes have been a little bit shorter and they've been very drama heavy. Don't worry, we'll get to some combat soon, but thank you all for listening. Make sure to hop over to patreon.com/modernescapism. Get in on the Scorched Sheep tier to $5 a month. You get ad-free early access to every episode. You get all the gubbins. You get the artwork from Candy. You get everything from Treble, from Oodles, from the music side of it. You get all of my character sheets. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. Or if you want to support Modern Escapism as well, get in at the Biggie Bundle for £7.50 a month. Stig, what happens when you pledge? What's added to it?
You get all Modern Escapism things, including all the specials, extended editions of weekly episodes, and yeah, so once a month we put out a special, and we tend to do more specials. We just done a Moon Knight one for all the spoilers. We've got, we'll have had the Too Faff, Too Curious is back.
Yeah.
And actually, by the time this comes out, the next Marvel TV show will probably be starting, so that'll be up and running
No
as
rest for
well.
the wicked.
Excellent. So, and also all prices are subject to VAT on top of that. Go over to modernescapism.co.uk for the website, for the Discord, for the merch store. Candy's got some brilliant Do Dragons Dream of Scorched merch up there. We need some more meme merch. Definitely need some more meme merch on there. And yeah, follow us on Twitter at Scorched. Just give us all the love. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on anywhere that you get podcasts, because it really helps us out, helps us get seen, and it, helps us bring you more of this good multiverse bending shit. Next episode comes out on Wednesday, the 15th of June, for all you lovely patrons.
And for next year.
I know.
Miles away.
And for anybody else, for everyone else, it comes out on Friday, the 17th of June. And it's important that you're there for this one, because that episode is going to be the 1-year anniversary of Scorched. So we may do an extra special super duper episode, or we may put that out as a bonus. You never know.
Telling you.
But yes,
coming.
Oh yes, come back in the middle of June for our birthday special. For now, thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.